Two earthquakes. One day, one struck near Tokyo, the other struck right beside Mount Fuji, and I need you to understand something before we go any further. This did not happen in some quiet, boring piece of crust. Japan sits on what scientists call the most complicated tectonic collision zone on Earth, and today that collision zone just reminded us it is very much alive. I'm going to break down exactly what happened, why the Mount Fuji earthquake is the one keeping scientists up at night.
There is no risk of a tsunami. Following the earthquake, the government immediately set up a response office at the Prime Minister's Office Crisis Management Center. We have convened an emergency.
And what the warning signs are that would tell us things are about to get much worse. Stay with me. Before I get into today's earthquakes, quick note, if you've been following my Venezuela coverage, the latest update video is linked at the end of this video and in the pinned comment below. The situation there is still developing, and it is heartbreaking.
We managed to open the door as best we could, and a cloud of smoke that wouldn't let us see. And when we went down, the scene was like...
We'll talk about it again soon. But right now, Japan. If you're new here, this channel covers major seismic and volcanic events in real time. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss updates like this one. Just before 1 p.m. local time, the ground shook east of Tokyo. Magnitude 5.8, epicenter in northeastern Chiba Prefecture. That's on the Pacific side, east of the capital. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. 5.8? That's not that big. Stop. We are not in normal times right now. We have Venezuela. We have the Philippines. We have northern Japan getting hit by a 7.2 just days ago. We do not get to wave away a 5.8 near one of the most densely populated cities on Earth right now. The depth was 50 kilometers, about 31 miles. That tells us this is not a surface crack opening underneath Tokyo. This is a deeper earthquake inside the stacked plate system beneath the Kanto region. But here is what matters. It was close enough that people all across Tokyo felt it. Buildings were swaying across the capital. And I want to put Tokyo into perspective for a moment because I think people outside of Japan don't fully appreciate what we are talking about when we say the Kanto region. Greater Tokyo is home to roughly 37 million people. That is the largest metropolitan area on Earth, and it does not sit on stable, ancient bedrock the way some other major cities do. It sits on thick layers of soft sediment. Alluvial plains built up over thousands of years by rivers flowing down from the surrounding mountains. And what soft sediment does during an earthquake is something called amplification. It shakes harder and longer than solid rock. The ground beneath Tokyo can make a moderate earthquake feel significantly stronger than actually is. Scientists have known this for decades. It is one of the reasons Japan has invested so heavily in earthquake engineering, because they understand that the ground itself is part of the danger. Now, Japan is probably the best prepared country on Earth for exactly this kind of event. Their early warning systems, their building codes, their evacuation drills, world class. And then think about Venezuela. Tower after tower collapsing, concrete buildings built without modern codes, swaying and crumbling like they were made of paper. I showed you that footage in my last video. The contrast is devastating, and it tells you everything about why earthquake preparedness is not optional. It is life or death.
Horrible. È un momento demasiado.
No tsunami warning was issued from the Chiba earthquake, but the day was not done. At 10:29 p.m., late at night, people are asleep. The ground shakes again. This time, eastern Yamanashi Prefecture, the Fuji Five Lakes region. Let me say that again. The Fuji Five Lakes region, the northern base of Mount Fuji. Magnitude 5.6 to 5.7, depth around 20 kilometers, roughly 12 miles. That is shallow. And on Japan's seismic intensity scale, this hit a maximum intensity of 6 in the hardest hit areas. 6. That is not barely felt. That is not people noticed a little shaking. At intensity 6, standing becomes difficult. Furniture moves on its own. Objects are thrown off shelves. Weaker walls crack and fail. And in the middle of the night, pure panic. And the epicenter, right there, at the northern base of the volcano, where there is a magma chamber underneath. So is Mount Fuji erupting? Let me be direct with you because I don't want to sensationalize this. No, Mount Fuji is not erupting right now. There is no confirmed eruption, no tsunami warning, no official signal that magma is breaking through the surface. But here is why this location is impossible to ignore. Mount Fuji is not just a beautiful mountain you see on postcards with the cherry blossoms in front. It is sitting in the middle of what I can only describe as a tectonic knot. A place where multiple massive forces from multiple directions are all colliding at once. To the east, the Pacific Plate is diving under the Okhotsk Plate along the Japan Trench.
This newsroom camera in Tokyo and a nearby airport one as well. Bullet train service shut down and power outages hit thousands.
One of the most dangerous subduction zones on Earth. To the south, the Philippine Sea Plate is diving under central Japan along the Sagami Trough and the Nankai-Suruga system. Also one of the most dangerous subduction zones on Earth. And right at the center of where all of this is meeting, that is where Mount Fuji grew. The volcano didn't randomly appear there. It grew directly above this collision. The magma below Fuji is fed by the subduction of the Pacific Plate and by the complicated splitting and sinking of the Philippine Sea Plate. So when the ground shakes near Fuji, we ask a very specific question. Is this tectonic stress? Or is something moving in the magma system? Now I need to tell you something that should make the hair on your arm stand up. Mount Fuji's last eruption was in 1707, the Hoei eruption. It buried the region in ash and was catastrophic for its time. It happened 49 days after the Great Hoei earthquake, a massive subduction earthquake, one of the largest in Japanese history. A megathrust earthquake triggered a volcanic eruption at Mount Fuji 49 days later. And I want to tell you what that eruption actually looked like, because it was not a slow, dramatic lava flow you could watch from a distance. The Hoei eruption was explosive. It threw ash and volcanic debris into the sky for 16 days straight. 16 days. Villages around the mountain were buried under meters of ash and rock. Crops were destroyed across the entire region. Rivers were blocked, causing flooding on top of the volcanic destruction. And the ash cloud reached all the way to what is now modern-day Tokyo, then called Edo, where ash reportedly fell like snow, darkening the sky and coating the city. The economic damage was so severe that entire communities never recovered. People abandoned their homes and never came back. That was the last time.
マジで俺やばいっすねうわ
Time Fuji erupted, and it has been silent for more than 300 years since. Now, Hana, today's magnitude 5.6 is nowhere near the size of the 1707 megathrust.
Some disruption has been reported in transport systems, including temporary suspension of train services.
I want to be completely clear. Today's earthquake alone is not going to trigger an eruption. But what this history tells us is that Mount Fuji responds to tectonic stress changes. It has done it before. And that is exactly why scientists watch this region so obsessively. That volcano has not erupted in more than 300 years. The pressure has been building, and Fuji is not dormant. It is classified as active. A similar eruption today would not just affect the villages around the base of the mountain. We're talking about major transport routes disrupted, airports closed, power infrastructure damaged, and depending on the wind direction, Tokyo itself, one of the largest cities on Earth, blanketed in ash.
An earthquake in this zone could have a magnitude as high as 8. We'll conduct new surveys and recalculate our assessments.
Geospatial Information Authority researchers plan to calculate the magnitudes and frequencies of expected earthquakes in these areas.
Japanese government studies have actually modeled this scenario. Their own estimates suggest that a Hawaii-scale eruption today could dump enough ash on Tokyo to collapse rooftops, shut down all rail and road transport in the greater metropolitan area, and force the evacuation of hundreds of thousands of people. The total economic cost in those studies runs into the hundreds of billions of dollars. And that is before you factor in what ash does to electronics, to water supplies, to aircraft engines. A single eruption of Fuji could paralyze the fourth largest economy on Earth. That is the stakes we are talking about. That is why a magnitude 5.6 at the northern base of this volcano gets everyone's attention. Are you worried about Mount Fuji? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and it genuinely helps me know what to cover next. Now here is what I really need you to understand, because one earthquake near Fuji and one near Tokyo would already be a busy day. But these two did not happen in isolation. The day before the Chiba earthquake, northern Japan was hit by a magnitude 7.2 earthquake. Off Iwate, revised upward by Japanese seismological reports, with very strong shaking across the region. So let me show you what we actually have right now across Japan. North of Honshu, the Japan Trench System is producing strong offshore earthquakes. Under Kanto, the Chiba earthquake shows deeper stress building below one of the most populated urban regions on Earth. Near Fuji, the Yamanashi earthquake hit directly at the volcanic and tectonic junction where the most dangerous forces converge. These are not random, isolated events. These are different pieces of the same larger problem. Japan does not sit on one fault. It sits on a stack of moving plates that interact at depth, and right now multiple parts of that system are releasing stress at the same time. And that is something seismologists take very seriously. When stress releases in one part of a connected plate system, it does not simply disappear. It transfers. It loads adjacent fault segments. The 2011 Tohoku earthquake, the one that caused the Fukushima disaster, did not come out of nowhere either. There had been years of elevated seismicity in that region beforehand. Nobody predicted the exact moment, but the system was telling us something. The question we always face is whether we are seeing the beginning of a sequence or just a busy few days that will quiet down. Right now, we do not know the answer to that question, and that uncertainty is exactly why I keep watching. So what happens next? Here is exactly what I am monitoring and what would change my assessment from significant but manageable to we have a serious problem. For a volcanic escalation at Mount Fuji, I am watching for aftershocks that do not die down quickly, especially if they start migrating closer to the summit. I am watching for low-frequency volcanic earthquakes. These are different from tectonic quakes, and they signal fluid or magma moving underground. I am watching for ground deformation. GPS sensors around Fuji measuring whether the flanks are swelling or tilting. I am watching for changes in volcanic gas output. Sulfur dioxide levels rising would be a serious red flag. And I am watching to see whether the Japan Meteorological Agency raises the volcanic alert level. Right now, none of those signals are present, but I will keep monitoring this in real time. And if anything changes, you will hear it from me first. Subscribe and hit the bell, because when things move fast with Japan, I post updates immediately. You do not want to be the last one to know. The situation in Japan is one I am watching very closely, and I'll have an update the moment anything changes. And if you haven't seen my Venezuela videos yet, the footage coming out of Caracas is unlike anything I have covered in a long time. Buildings still collapsing, rescue teams working through rubble, and one moment in the latest video, a rescue crew trying to reach a dog trapped in the debris. That one genuinely broke me. That video is linked right here. Go watch it, and I will see you there.